Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at the next short story in this Tales of the Lovecraft Mythos, which was never published until this. It was originally written in the pulp era. It's Richard Seawright's The Warder of Knowledge. He is the creator in the Cthulhu Mythos of the Eltdown Shards, and he was a co-writer with H.P. Lovecraft during that era. He wrote a short story in the 1920s that invented the brain in the vat genre called The Brain in the Vat in horror and other tropes too. And then he didn't write a lot of stuff after he wrote that big piece. That was one of his first ones. It was for a pulp magazine. So that was cool. And then, Lovecraft and him started writing back and forth. He created the Eltdown Shards, which are in the Cthulhu Mythos, and this tells the story of him. This story was rejected by Weird Tales, and he sent it on to Lovecraft. Lovecraft wrote it, liked it, rewrote it back, and said, "This is fun. I like it. You should definitely not take it sitting down. You should continue to publish it," and so forth. And he said, "I was also writing a short story, telling the origin of the Eltdown Shards too. And unfortunately, mine's obviously a whole lot worse than yours was, because that's who Lovecraft was. He was very self-effacing. But anyway." Lovecraft would use the Eltdown Shards created by Richard Seawright in places like The Challenge from Beyond, which are reviewed in 4 and so forth. So anyway, this tells the origin of the Eltdown Shards that was created by, again, Richard Seawright. So this is his short story, The Warder of Knowledge. So this is about 14 pages long. I read it last night about half an hour for the second time. It was a lot of fun. Point of view character is this brilliant young scientist. He goes to college. He graduates very, very well, and he gets a Midwestern college, and he's given this professorship and so forth in his field of science. Very, very shortly after, he ends up getting the chair because of how brilliant and stuff he is. Between the two, he starts to do some research into otherworldly things, like he wants to into the Necronomicon and the Eltdown Shards and stuff like that. But his job's too busy, so he finally ends up just sticking with his job, and then becomes chair. And he's even busier after becoming chair, so he just leaves his stuff behind and years pass. And then he realizes his quest is actually for omniscience, and he believes that it's possible to know everything and so forth. And he remembers an Eltdown Shard number 20, where there was a section of it called The Warder of Knowledge, which is where this title of the story comes from. And so he decides to go back to his thing and start, after 5 years of field experience for omniscience the normal way. And so he decides to go back to his research, and then the rest of the, and then he does an interpretation of Shard 20, and he realizes that the Shard 20 has a summoning thing, but there's no for the Warder of Knowledge, but there's no the section that's been cut away that has the dismissal spell. It just has the summoning spell. And this is about 5 or 6 pages into the 14-page story, so I'll leave you there. So there you are. Again, I keep my review spoiler free, but that's my quick review of The Warder of Knowledge by Richard Seawright, who was published occasionally here and there in the pulp era. And again, this short story was never published until this collection, so I'll link you to Tales of the Lovecraft Mythos in the comments below. So there you are. We're reading a lot of the Cthulhu Mythos things in October that I dedicate to this month. I just do Cthulhu Mythos stuff every October. Do a deep dive into the horror subtropes that was created by H.P. Lovecraft, who again was one of the key writers and figures in Richard Seawright's career, and the two of them wrote back and forth quite a bit. So there you are. I like this. I think it's fun. It's definitely a faster read than you probably would think. I like it better than the previous short story in this collection, which I only gave a 6.2. It's probably more like a 7.2. I like it though. It's fun. I like the ending and what happens and so forth. So there you are. That is Richard Seawright's The Warder of Knowledge. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. If you read this, if so, let's talk about it. If you like it, let's talk about the comments below. As a reminder, his channel's name is The Worst Thing About New Books, a quote by a French philosopher named Jean Schubert, who said that the worst thing about new books was that they kept us from reading the old ones. And this is definitely an older, even though it was just published recently, it was definitely written decades and decades ago. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. If you enjoyed this, why not hit that subscribe button? There's going to be a lot more vis-a-vis. And then finally, I just want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it in watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spend this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.